Hey everybody, this is part two of my video from yesterday. The old wonderful Ohio State and what the people here like to do to people that are just new here or strangers or just passing through or on vacation, and how they like to treat those people coming in here from outside. But I want to get the order straight. I was rushed yesterday. Had some time before I had to pick up my wife, and I thought I could get the video in, and I didn't. I ended up running late, got shit twisted and turned because I was trying to rush, and I ended up having to cut it short. But the order went in at the stories I told you up to then. Gerard was one of the first things that happened. I wasn't even living here at the time. We were running over, staying at my son's house, and running back and forth to Indianapolis. When that happened, about, I don't know, 6 months, 8 months later, was when we decided to rent a place here because it would save us on the money from running back and forth. That's when we ended up in Boardman. Now, the ticket that I got in Boardman that I ended up fighting using my videos, and I ended up winning, fell in the time before I actually moved to Boardman. I was still living up at my son's and running back and forth, and he was even running back and forth to deal with this court. And the reason, this is the reason why I'm doing this second video on this, because I want you people to understand. These two videos that I'm doing right now, this is any town, any state, USA. There's nothing special about what's happening to me right here in this town that wouldn't be happening and that isn't happening in other towns across this country, because it's happening everywhere, folks. I just don't know about them, or I would talk about them. The one I talk about is what's happening to me. And I've been dealing with crap like this for so long that it's become almost second nature. You know, this part of the story is one where I was pulled over by a police officer, a state trooper. He said he pulled me over because I didn't have or that I didn't use my turn signal, which I used my turn signal. I know for a fact I did. But after he pulled me over, see, I don't speak to him. I just sit there, hand him my driver's license, my insurance, and my registration, and I don't say a word. They go back to their car. They get pissed because they ask me questions and I don't answer questions. So they go back to their car, and he's sitting there, and he ends up coming back and handing me that ticket for not wearing a seatbelt. Now, he told me he stopped me for the turn signal, but he was only giving me a warning on that, but he was writing me a ticket for the seatbelt. Now, these guys, and I guarantee it's happened to you too, folks. These police officers are trained to do certain things, say certain things in order to keep them from saying anything that may incriminate them, but to try to get you to incriminate yourself. They are trained to do this by asking certain questions. By you not answering those questions, that throws them for a loop. And if you just sit there quietly and don't say anything, they have nothing but whatever's made up in their mind to go off of. So that's one thing I suggest you do. But another thing is, if most people don't have any training in researching laws and doing stuff, looking up what laws are, how to read laws, it's called legalese. Most people don't have that training or that knowledge. Knowledge is the word I'm looking for. Other people don't have the knowledge that the training, like a police officer gets certain kinds of training on how to manipulate situations, how to get people to do things you normally couldn't get them to do by raising your voice or yelling a command, or whether it's a legal command or not. They are trained to use these things against you for you to cow down from them and do whatever they tell you. That's what a master does. Well, some of us have enough critical thinking capabilities and stuff that we see their game. We figure out what game they're playing first, because if you think most of the time you're dealing with constitutional law, you're wrong, folks. You're dealing with maritime admiralty law, and it's a different jurisdiction. And if you're playing constitutional law in a jurisdiction, or if you're playing a game with jurisdictions and you think you're in constitutional jurisdiction and you're under maritime admiralty jurisdiction, then you're playing hockey on in a swimming pool. You're not even on the right course or track or whatever you want, arena or whatever you want to call it. You're in the wrong building, folks. And then there's people like me that also that have done some training in how to manipulate, how to read people's body actions, the way they talk, their eye movements, when they're talking. You can read people and tell when they're pretty much, a lot of times I can tell when somebody's lying just by the way they're telling the story. And I'm going to prove to you that I know these techniques, and I've used it, and I used it big time in this Boardman, Ohio. Now, because it's done and over with. I've already won the case, and it's done. This is how it works, folks. I've been dealing with police officers. I've had police officers that were friends. They've told me about this kind of stuff that they're trained to do. They've shown me the kind of stuff that they're trained to do. I've had military people show me the training that they've had. All I did was put it in play, show that I can use it too, because they use it against us all the time, folks. The government, cops, everybody uses these manipulative wordings and all this shit just to get us to do what they want, because that's the only way they can get us to do it. If we don't do it, they can't make us. They can try, but they can't make us. So here's the story, folks. I was driving this is the truth. This is Watachi's truth of what happened and how I beat Boardman, Ohio on a seatbelt ticket. And I made the Boardman, Ohio prosecutor's office look like a fool. I made the state trooper, the officer that wrote me the ticket, look like a fool. And I also did all this right in front of a judge. And it was easily stoppable. And they couldn't figure it out. But this is why, folks. Because at that time, it was normal, every week thing. Every time I went down to that courtroom was packed. The entire courtroom was packed, and outside the courtroom was packed. People were standing outside the building. There were so many people being run through that courtroom. These people did not care one bit about facts, truth, fair, justice, or anything. It was all about running the herd. You know, the herd they're always talking about. Running the herd through the chute. And the chute was they gave you the ticket or gave you the charge on it. You go in front of the judge, you plea, you get sentenced, or you get charged, you get sentenced, and you either pay it or go to jail. That's all they're there for, folks. You're the herd being run through the chute. And all it is a chute, folks. It's nothing but a game. Now, I pulled up to a light, and I can't honestly say I had my turn signal on. I can't really honestly because I was taking my wife to her job. She was sitting in the back seat, and I was talking to her. But you guys see in my videos when I'm driving around, I use my turn signal. So, and I've even had people talk about that, you know. But I went through I seen the state trooper sitting over there, but he pulled me over because I had an out-of-state tag. Now, because I had an out-of-state tag, and because I clearly did not have my seatbelt on when I was sitting at the light. Okay, so, and I saw him looking at me. So once I made the light, I whipped my seatbelt around my ass. He then fell in behind me and pulled me over. I pulled in, parking lot. He pulled up behind me, come walking up, told me who he was, whatever. Run his mouth, and I'm sitting there holding my paperwork for him. Didn't say a word. He goes back. When he comes back, by this time, see, he didn't know I had already kicked on my phone and I was recording him. He didn't know. I had him, right after I got my seatbelt on, I slapped my phone on, and I set it right in the cup holder right next to me facing the window. The recording's on my video, or on my channel. He goes and does his thing. He comes back. He's telling me he gave me a warning on the turn signal. I've got my seatbelt still on though. He says, but I wrote you a ticket for the seatbelt. And I said, oh yeah. He goes, yeah. Or you can see it in the video. And he starts asking, or he asked me if I have any questions. And I said, yeah. I asked him his name and his badge number, and he rattles it off. And I asked him, did I have my seatbelt on when you pulled me over? He said yes. Then he started saying, I cut him off, didn't let him say nothing else in the video. I told him I didn't, all I wanted was a one answer, and I cut him off. Didn't let him say nothing else. And he didn't know I was recording. He then started telling me what I could do or whatever he started to say something, and I said, I'm done with you. Move on. Let me get the fuck out of here. Leave me alone. I'm not interested in anything else you have to say. So, I took that video, went into court, and the prosecutor's office pulls me in to the prosecutor's office. He's sitting there. I'm sitting there. I got 3 or 4 lawyers sitting around me. 3 or 4 lawyers. There was 2 or 3, 4 state troopers in there. The clown that gave me the ticket was sitting right behind me. And then the prosecutor's talking to some of these lawyers and shit, and they're laughing. I'm sitting right in front of this clown at his desk. And finally he looks at me and he says, okay, we're going to charge you $25 and you can just go on home. You don't even have to go in front of the judge. I said, no, wait a minute. $25 for what? I go, for the seatbelt ticket. I said, I'm not going to pay something that I wasn't guilty of. He goes, what do you mean? I said, well, and I knew the damn state trooper was sitting right behind me. I said, that clown back there, I got a video of him stating that I had my seatbelt on when he pulled me over. He jumps up from behind me and he's going, he does not. There ain't no way he's got a video saying that he had said he had his seatbelt on when I pulled him over. Prosecutor looks at me. And I go, you want to see it? I got the video right there on my phone. I'll show it to you. The prosecutor looks at me and says, we're not going to play your games. I said, oh, okay. Games, He goes, now I'm going to offer you one more time. $25 for the fine. You just go pay us and go home. If you go in there in front of the judge, it's going to cost you $100 in court costs, and then the $25, it's going to at least cost you $125. And I looked at him and I stood up in his office, surrounded with his lawyers and the state troopers and shit. And I looked at him and I said, well, I don't make deals with the devil. And they all busted up laughing. I turned around, walked out. Then we went in front of the judge. Them prosecutor got up there and did their song and dance. You know how they do. And even in that process, the police officer, the state trooper, couldn't stop from lying. And I guarantee you he's used this lie many times in court. Many times. But I can prove it to you. He was lying. He said that he clearly saw that my seatbelt wasn't on because my seatbelt strap in my car was a light color and I had a dark colored sweatshirt jacket on. Matter of fact, he claimed the same jacket I was wearing that day in court was the jacket, and I had a dark green sweat jacket on, and I was wearing it when he pulled me over. It's in my video. But he said my seatbelt on my car is a light color, like light gray or white or something like that. It's not a dark color, so that my seatbelt would have stood out against my dark colored sweat jacket. Now, I can take you right out there to the car. The damn seatbelt strap is black. Black. And I didn't know it at the time. I heard him say it in court, and I'm thinking in my head, is that thing black or light or gray? Or hell, I wasn't even for sure until after I got out of court, and I went out there and looked at it. And sure enough, it's black. So that's a lie I'm sure that state trooper uses all the time when him and his prosecutor buddies are doing their song and dance. And I just let them do it. Now, I shortened the video, people. I didn't play the whole video for the judge. I just cut it down from where he brings my license and stuff back, tells me what he's ticketing me for, and asks me if I had any questions. That's the only part I left. And then I ended it right after I cut him off. I ended the video on my phone that I would play for the judge. So the prosecutors then told that he can ask the witness any questions, and they go through that questioning shit, the questioning stage. Then the judge asked me if I can ask any questions, or if I have any questions to ask. So I look at this state trooper, and I ask him, have you ever seen me before in your life other than on that one day when you pulled me over? And state trooper said, I've never seen you before that day. That day and today is the only time I've ever met you. I said, oh, all right. I said, have you ever, or do you remember stating while you're sitting out there at the sign where you pulled me over, stating that I had my seatbelt on when you pulled me over? And he looks at the judge and Your Honor, I'd have never said that. I'd have never gave him the ticket. That would have never happened. I said, okay. And the judge asked me, are you through? I said, yeah, I'm done questioning. He goes, okay, is there any evidence? Is there anything you want to add to it? I said, yeah, I got evidence of a video I got. But that officer right there that just told you he had never said that, saying it, what he said he'd never said. And the judge said, oh, well. And I played it for the judge. The prosecutor, the state trooper, and the judge, all three's jaws dropped. Judge looked at me, looked at them, said, well, with the evidence before me here today, I've got to dismiss all charges. And he did so. Now, you want me to tell you just how easy it would have been for them to step right past that? Because all the prosecutor had to do was say, did you ask him if you had the seatbelt on when he saw you didn't have it on? They could have brought up the fact that I wasn't asking if the officer saw me without my seatbelt on. I asked the officer if I had it on when he stopped me. I led him into that. I guided him like a damn horse with a carrot into him saying exactly what I wanted him to say. He said yes because it was the truth at the time. He didn't know what he was where I was going with it, and so he just answered it with the truth. Yes. So, if these guys weren't down there just manipulating and twisting, and 90% of these people shouldn't even probably be in that courtroom, but if they weren't trying to run them through there like a bunch of damn cattle, they would have been easily able to catch on to what I was doing. But they didn't even catch it, people. This is the guy that's the prosecutor working in your courtroom. I played him like a fiddle. I played him and the damn state trooper so bad it wasn't even funny. It wasn't even funny. When I turned around in that courtroom and it was packed, everybody in there was smiling and looking at me like one of us got out of here. Now, that's how stupid these people are down here that you guys got running your justice system in Boardman Township. Mahoney County, I guess I should say, because that's the sheriff's office that's down there at the courtroom and everything, so I guess that'd be under Mahoney County. Now, let's get back to, all this crap about they won't let me in the doctor's office, even though that I can prove the governor put a medical exemption in his mandate, that these people are supposed to allow me in there. They're not doing it, and they've cut off my medication. I guess they're hoping I die, but I believe I'm going to have my faith in Jesus and that it ain't going to happen, and I'm going to prove to them once again, they didn't get me. But let's talk about this sheriff of Mahoney County. I've called his office. I've left messages for him to call me. I've wanted to meet with him. I wanted to talk to him about the constitutional rights that are being walked all over at not just me, but everybody in his county that he is responsible for. And about these people I'm telling you, people, I've talked to the governor's office. I've talked to the attorney general's office. I've talked to the Ohio Health Department office. I've talked to Sheriff Green in the Mahoney Sheriff's Office. I've talked to the chief of police, the deputy chief of Boardman County, the lieutenant, and half the damn officers. I've been to mayors. I've been to everybody I can think of to go to. And there ain't nobody in Ohio willing to help anybody with a disability or a physical medical problem. They basically look at me and tell me you're on your own. These people threw me out to the wolves because the wolves aren't the cops. The wolves were these stores and their managers and the big corporations that run them that took control. It wasn't the government. It was the big corporations, people. They forced it down through the forcing everybody with a mask, even though the governor put a medical exemption in it. They saw to it that the medical exemption was walked on. BJ's big time. They admitted it right on my video. Well, the government wasn't doing enough, so we're going to do what we want, and people like you can come around back and pick your food up from the back door back by the trash cans. We don't let your kind in the front door. Well, Dollar General did that to me. Five Guys Restaurant did that to me. There's so many places around here that's done that to me, people. I stopped counting and stopped videoing them. This is Ohio. God's country. Right. I just want to see where some of these God-fearing people are. I've been to civil lawyers all around here. Not a civil lawyer around here will help me. None of these lawyers will help me. I couldn't take a case on anybody right now to save my life because I don't belong here. I don't have no rights here. I need to go home, I guess. Back to my own country, I guess. Because this ain't my country. My country wouldn't put up with this. Or at least I didn't think it would. Y'all laughed at Alex Jones saying they're turning the frogs gay. I laugh because they've turned every damn man in this country gay as far as I'm concerned. Ain't none of them have any balls left. None of them. If you people let them do shit like this to me, and you'll let them do what they're doing to your kids in school, and the stuff they're doing outside of school. I saw a commercial on TV for a cock ring. You guys think that's the way we should be going? Now I look around, walking down the street, and I'm embarrassed. You see all these women running around, and well, I don't know why they even got them on. What is a piece of leotard between you and the great outdoors? You leave nothing for anybody's imagination. You tighter the better. You want to see every crack and crevice you got. Would you wear that stuff? And you know what? I know some of you don't even believe in Jesus Christ, but I know some of you do. Let's say Jesus Christ standing there in front of you. God standing there in front of you. Would you wear that crap before him? Would you have that much disrespect for Jesus to walk in front of him wearing the clothes you walk around out here in plain sight every day? You let your children, your little girls, wear that crap out in public. I'm the crazy one. I'm the nut job. I'm the stuff you guys call me. You better look around. It ain't me, folks. It ain't me. Look in the mirror. Not. Watch my video. I'll probably be videotaping you one day. This area, I can't say about it anywhere else, but this area right here, I've lost all respect for. When they allow a doctor to tell me, yeah, I know chances are you're going to die, but I'm not giving you what you want unless you wear a mask that I know you can't wear. And I'm not going to give you what we think you need to keep you alive, because you're either going to do what I say or you can die. Just like them people down there in Athens, Alabama told my dad about a week and a half before he died. He was at the hospital and they told him he had to take a damn COVID test. And he told them no. He told them no, I don't want it. Just go and die then. Go and die then, sir. That's what I mean. It ain't just Boardman, Ohio. It ain't just Ohio. It's all over the country, folks. You better wake up. That's what your world has become. Nastiness. No justice. No rights. No freedom. No peace. Remember that. May God bless us all, folks, because that's the only way out of this. And make no mistake, I really do love you. Just sometimes you got to talk to people. You got to be gruff. You got to being nice ain't working. And it is getting harder and harder to love you. I can tell you that. The way you keep treating me. Just keep it up. Just keep it up. One day you're going to pay for it. I'm not going to pay for it. Hell, I've been taking it all my life. I can take it, whatever. If I got 6 months, a year, 2 years, 10, I don't know. I can take it for the rest of that time. Just keep dishing it out to me. I'll keep taking it. But somebody's going to make you pay for it one day. Watch and see. Good luck with that, folks. Till next time.